It's been about 2 weeks since I finished the 4 points challenge, and I'm so pleased that I had this bike to be able to do it on. So BMW R1200GS Adventure. What a flipping machine, it's awesome, really is awesome. And when I was looking at buying this bike, I couldn't decide if it was really worthwhile pushing the boat out to go for that more expensive version, R1200GS Adventure, or to save a few quid and go for this one. Now, it's going to be down to your own personal choice and your own personal budget which one you actually use, but for me this was absolutely spot on. Come on in then. Hello, come on through here. So, reason that this is such a good thing, the bike itself has got a massive fuel tank on it, so you can do over 300 miles in a single jaunt. In fact, the bike will keep going for longer than I could, and I keep having to stop more often than this to be able to refuel myself and just have breaks. But this will just keep going and going and going, and it sits quite happily. Motorway speeds are a little bit faster if that's your choice, but for me, I'm motorway speeds, and that's as much as it needs be. But with the advantage of having this cruise control on it, cruise control on a motorbike, it's brilliant. Just set it at the speed you want to go and off you go. Keep on going and going. If you get something that comes up in your way, traffic that slows, a 1200 engine will get you around there in no problem at all. In fact, the only difficulties that I've noticed with this over my old bike, my Triumph Sprint GT, is that this has got some really wide handlebars on it. So when you come to that filtering bit and you're going between traffic, this is a big old beast, and you really notice that width, and so you have to really go carefully between those lines of traffic if they're queued. Now, the advantage of those handlebars is because they are so wide, they are in fact wider than the panniers at the back. They're big chunky monkeys, carry loads of gear, but with the handlebars, if you get those through, those panniers will go through as well. Now it brings me on to the panniers. When I went away to the 4 points, I packed up a tent, I packed up this ridiculously large sleeping bag. I'd got all the food that I needed for the time that I was away, and it carried the lot and then some. I'd still got a little bit of space in my top box, even after packing all the camera gear. With this, you've got the adjustable suspension, so it caters for those A roads, those B roads, and the motorways, and the off-road as well. So you can adjust the suspension as you need. You can set it for just you with your gear, your panniers, or you, your gears, your panniers, your passengers. You can adjust it any which way you need to do. Now, thanks to the Boxer engine, it's got a really low centre of gravity. You've got that weight load down, which means that it'll help your balance immeasurably when you're going at really low, slow speeds. Triumph Sprint GT, the weight was really high up, and it meant that, you know, you felt it all the time. You were on your toes trying to keep the balance, trying to keep it upright. It also showed when I dropped this, it went over on the grass, I slipped, it went. Fortunately it went the other way to me, but I was able on my own to pick this up with all the gear and the panniers installed. I did that with the Triumph, and it took two of us huffing and puffing to get the bloody thing off the ground. So this is much easier. If you're on your own, you do get in that sticky situation where you've gone over. This, you can get it back up again. You are going to take different types of terrain. This has got enduro mode, road mode, rain mode, and dynamic mode. So no matter what you're riding on, this has got you covered. All driven by the computer to manage the sort of terrain and the traction from the bike and the acceleration to keep it at the right sort of revs for the right sort of ground that you're on. Really bloody clever stuff. In fact, it's probably a better rider than I am. All I'm just sat there and being a steering monitor. I thought at one point that I'd got a puncture, so you don't have to stop and kick the tyres and see for the pressure. Not with this anymore. Within the wheel rims, there's pressure monitors that will relay the pressure of each of the tyres back to the dash. Tells you the front and the rear load and how much air pressure you've got in them. Who knew? The visibility that you get with this, these lights are just tremendous. At one point I was driving back through the night, complete blackout. The bike, the light on there honestly is better than my car, You flick on the headlights, and when you put on the main beam as well, it is like instant daylight. Just the best light that I've seen on a bike. So cannot sing the praises of this thing enough. The downsides for this are linked back to why I bought this R1200 over the 1250. So 1200 is a good £3 cheaper than the 1250 at the point I was buying it. Now, if you got the money, would you go for the 1250? Yeah, probably, but it is only a difference of what, some 50cc. There is the camshift technology that you've got in the 1250 that you don't have in this. So that means that if you are accelerating at higher speeds on a motorway, then camshift will help you get past whatever you're trying to get past. This is just going to not keep up. That's how it is. But for me, yeah, I'm happy with this. Awesome bit of kit. That is the difference between this and the other bikes. You get so many features, so many facilities. When I bought this bike, I bought it from a dealer, and they gave a 2-year extended warranty, which is I'm going to be using because I've now got a problem with the automatic stability control. So it's going in on Wednesday. The garage are just going to take it, and as part of that warranty it will be sorted. So the downside with this, as opposed to the Triumph, is quite simply cost. This is probably about 7,000 to 8,000 more than the Triumph would be, but this will hold its price. Triumph just didn't. That's about it really for my review of this BMW R1200GS Adventure. Great bit of kit. I could recommend it thoroughly. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's well worth the money, and it's a great bit of kit. With the 4 points tour that I've just done, this was ideal. As I say, for me, it just covered everything, all the bases. In fact, there was one point on the road out to the most westerly point. The road, it narrows to single track. It's got loads of bends that are off camber, and because it's single track, the gravel is in the middle of the road and grass in the middle of the road, and so it's proper slippy, and you're bouncing along and the roads are really uneven, and it's really difficult driving. With this, I was able to switch the suspension over to make it more soft, which meant I was about damn sight more comfortable, which meant I was able to ride for much longer than I would have if I'd have been on another bike. I'd have been stopping the damn sight more frequently. With this, with the great big wide seat and those comfortable handlebars and the adjustable suspension, you're able to set it just so it will adjust to however you ride. So all in all, what a bike. Brilliant. If you've got one of these, tell me what you think your best things are, and if you're about to buy one, what is it that you want to know about them? If you've got any questions at all, you know, just stick them down below, and I'll do my best to have a read through and get back to you. So any questions, feel free to ask. And if you like what I'm doing, then why not click down here, click on the subscribe button, and get the bell notification, and that will tell you when I'm going to upload the next video. But for now, thanks very much for watching, and I do hope to see you again soon.